Greetings. So my apologies for not posting my video update much sooner. It's been a couple weeks. There's been a lot happening. So I finally got my video shoot done for my website for my welcome, and I have a really kind guy I met at the University of Washington who is handling that for me. And he's also doing the photographs for this back brace. I went online to hire people to do my flyers. So with the Amazon FBA, you can pay $250 for some labels, a UPC code, which is the Universal Product Code, that when you scan, it recognizes that. So you can pay $250 so you can ship that to Amazon, or you can register your brand on Amazon. And there's loopholes that you can go about without having to pay the $250. And because I'm bootstrapping it, let's go ahead and make everything legitimate, And so I got the few loopholes. One is that you have to have a good website with product descriptions. You should be able to have a brochure, some sort of special packaging, not just stickers. So I'm following along on my e-course, and that's one of the aspects of it. So I'm coming from sunny San Jose, which is just a couple miles outside of San Francisco, near Santa Clara. And I'm so happy to be in the presence of friends. So the reason I really wanted to talk to you, here we go, is that I'm sitting in my friend's studio next to her house. And this is so cool. They've got all kinds of Alice in Wonderland paintings everywhere. And just here for a little bit. We used to write together. And yeah, so the real reason I wanted to talk to you guys. So I had a bit of a hellish journey with the person that I wanted to talk to about writing for my book on the cover. So initially I left Seattle later than I wanted to. But then I thought, maybe let me just save some money and take my trip much later. Let me gather a few things together, like hiring the videographer and the photographer. And instead, I had this friend that said, hey, just come out. I'll be in Oregon. I thought I'll just take a week off. Let me just leave my apartment early, take a week, and not just fly straight from Seattle to San Francisco, but just enjoy the journey in between. And that's what generally life is. And journeys are just microcosms of life itself, of a journey. But this experience was it was a little uncomfortable for sure. So I spoke with this friend a couple months prior, and he's been asking me to come to this venue that he'd been playing at, this Applegate River Lodge, that it's magical. Come check it out. So he let me know that when I called to check the rooms, they were all rented out. So he said he would come and meet up with me in Oregon. So I left my apartment. Oops, taking off this back brace. I left my apartment to come and meet up with him. Let's see if I can get this here. Perfect. Yeah. So I left my apartment to meet up with him, and I spent the whole night packing. Every single, just a lot. I didn't sleep. I was cleaning my apartment to leave Wednesday morning to catch a bus to get to Eugene, Oregon. And I went from a very packed apartment to absolutely nothing. And overnight, did not sleep a lick. Then it was a 20-hour trip from where I was Seattle to Eugene and then Eugene to Bend, Oregon. By the time I got where I was exhausted. So this friend of mine was like, just come now. I mean, I think you should just take the 20-hour trip. And I'm thinking, look, it's a couple days. Can we break it up just like for a couple of days so I can have rest? I think that's kind of a good idea to spread that out. And he said, look, I know I told you I would pick you up last time from the town close by, but I think it's best that you come and meet me here. So I did, race, with the intention of this person may help me with my business from prior conversations that we've had in the past. I need somebody, in addition to the people that I have now, to write on the cover of my book. So this was a special weekend or a couple days for me to go and ask, hey, can you write on the cover of my book? I think that would be such a huge honor if you could do that. So homeboy, it's so far. So yeah, homeboy picked me up and we went on a drive and was trying to, we just had really whatever conversation, some deep, some kind of superficial, and some just hearing about other people in the band. And then at night, it was just like he had all these people coming in, and he's like an extension of Jerry Garcia's band and like one of the oldest members. And as we were in the car, he said he was on stage and people were shouting his name. And when he was playing with Jerry Garcia, Jerry turned around and said his name. And then at that point, he told me, oh, it's better for me to just stay quiet and just like not shine. And I feel like that should have been my first red flag. This book is about shining, is about like going irrespective of what other people say or think. And maybe you don't want somebody like that. Then, of course, him being a part of that band has many women like, oh my God, you're so amazing. Hey, hey, hey. But I'm not one of them. And I made that very clear several weeks or months ahead of time. I just want to be your friend where there's nothing to us. Like, I don't want anything from you. I just want to be your friend. I really I think you can be a kind of cool guy. Until I saw him up close. And before I left, one of my friends sent me off and I told her what I was doing and that I was going to be very careful to ask about business, any sort of favors in business, because it's good to kind of assess the person and see if that's what you want. So the hotel manager gave me a key to the room, and this time the band member was really upset that I got a key, that says he has all of this money and things like that, and people have stolen from him before. So he was upset, and then he mentioned that he wanted to have sex, like he needed sex, and one of his friends was there, and I was there, and so they weren't sure of our relationship or what was going on, and he didn't know either, and now he's so mad that he wanted sex, and So then the following morning, he had the hotel manager come back and say, hey, I'm really sorry about that, but this band member would like his key back and he needs a space. He has a friend coming in, so you just need to come get your stuff out. And I was like, okay, that is so rude. And then I knew it was just like I hadn't placed myself in a vulnerable position like that here I was. The first night I chose to stay in a hostel, even though he asked me like, hey, no, it's okay, I have a hotel. I wasn't going to go and carry all my stuff and be like, just leave myself vulnerable at that point. Because the purpose was not to spend the night with anyone. It was to get somebody to write the cover for my book and to talk about it in person. And so the second day on our way to Applegate River Lodge, it's about 4 hours or maybe 3 hours in the middle of the woods where everybody's growing pot quietly off the grid. I don't know where this was. He just said he would. I thought the car ride would be a great time to talk about the book and him assisting me with writing on the cover. And then as we started unloading, people were taking stuff out, and every single one of the rooms was booked. So I just threw my stuff into his room so I could change and like use the restroom, whatever, with no intention of spending the night. So I didn't, because I just found some random hippies to spend like a couple of hours with late into the night. So I think that was really what got him very upset, but it was more of just like, what the I just got like, you what the hell? So I grabbed my stuff and I reached out to the person that was sitting on the porch, and I was just like, hey, can you give me a ride to the nearest town? I'll give you just some gas money. And this kid was probably ate up like everyone in a Grateful Dead show would be. And he, and I'm not saying the names just because like I feel like if you know me, then you know what this is about. But it was just really cold, so I went to approach this band member and I was like, okay, like I don't mind like leaving, but that should have been a conversation we had instead of you just like getting up and being like, tell her to leave. And then that's when he was like, and so and so wanted to spend the night with me, and we weren't sure what was going on with you or what the relationship was. And it was just like itchy vibes. And the whole day I was just kind of like in a bit of shell shock that it was just like a very chilly, like me arriving, and almost a complete disregard for all that I've been doing in that day. My video shoot, and then running straight from my video shoot to preparing for all of that, and then cleaning my apartment and moving out and taking the bus early in the morning and getting to this place. It was just so stressful that it just like added even more stress. And it just was a situation that I just, ugh. And I felt that if I had been tossed out like that, if I had been like quickly pushed out, would this have happened if I slept with this guy? Not, that was never even something that would have been on the table. But if I had, like, would I've also been tossed out as well? Like, how would that toss out feel? If this was just like, wow, me as a human, you just did that, it's like put out or get out kind of mentality. So I was just like, that's not somebody that I want to write on the cover of my book. And it will just serve as a huge important reminder for me not to be, exposing myself again in that type of vulnerable situation. Although I saw that, I was so thankful that I had finances to get me out of that problem, right? It was just like, okay, whatever, I'm on my way to San Francisco anyway. You were just like kind of a stop along the way. So I was just kind of like, damn, all of that money to get from there, the hostel, the food, then like traveling, and it was just so much it was just too much. So I was just like really over it. So I'd been kind of quiet and just like not really sure what to do and about it, except like kept telling myself, stop fretting. Like, that happened. Now you're on your way to like Thailand. You're on your way to San Francisco. You're gonna meet friends. It's gonna be all right. So yeah, it's just important for me to just focus not so much on the bells and whistles of what the book design or anything like that looks like, but to truly just focus on the art. And the art of is and the bells and whistles is the work itself and the words. So yeah, for that, that's how that's been. And it was a really bitter place that I ended up like posting on my Facebook that it was just like cold. It was just chilly. Yeah, it was really uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. So I'm with my friend Laura, and we met in writing group. And this is one of my favorite writing groups. Everybody is, they're like a soul friend. So this soul friend of mine, most of them are retired. And so she's just the sweetest woman. Like at first, I was reading something that was making me very upset because um, I had quite a day, and usually during this writing group, I only write about my book. But this day, I was just like fuming, so I just needed to get everything out in 45 minutes. Just and she was in the group, and I just like and invited me to come hang out with her in San Jose for a night or two, and I appreciate her. I'll introduce you guys to Carl, her husband. He's really cool, and they have Emma. They've rented out a room in their house for a student, and they live so close to Santa Clara University. So it's been amazing. And then I've got a friend Tasha. She is coming to pick me up. I'm gonna spend a couple nights with her at her house, and then I'll head to San Francisco, a whole hour away from San Jose, and just relax, try to get as much stuff sent out as I can. I did hear back from this videographer, and so things are moving. Things are moving very quickly, and I'm really excited. And I'm so excited to travel to another country to just like work on my business. And I just had the greatest goodbye. So, for all of you that came to my send off party in Seattle, I really appreciate it. It's just so nice to be around really great people and lots of love and the well wishes. And it was really cool. So, what else? Besides the fact that I look like I'm tired. Yeah, I think that's about it. Things are moving very quickly, and I'm excited for where things are going to go. So I wish you all awesome, an awesome weekend. It's going to be warm where I'm at. And if you have any stories like this, not so much like surviving abuse or anything like that. It was a weird type of, this guy like kind of played an emotional game, and because I'm like past that, I was talking to a friend that for just in general, I have extreme and enormous compassion for where people are in their lives, that like this guy's maybe not trusting, or he regards women as things, and like I have compassion for that type of person, but not a whole lot of tolerance. And so either way, things kind of happened as they should. He's not writing on the cover of my book, and like I'm not really interested in like somebody who just wants cheap frills. So what else? Yeah, that's it, y'all. And yeah. Check out my website. Please follow me on Facebook. I will let you know once I've submitted my stuff to Amazon. And I will do another segment probably soon about what it is that I'm taking with me to Thailand. I am all about packing light, but I feel like I have done a bit of change. So, because I wanted to submit all of my stuff online to Amazon and it kind of didn't happen, I'm just a little bummed because I wanted to have shipped everything off to the Amazon warehouse and not take it with me to Asia. When I just picked it up from Asia, now I have to resend it back to the US. But that's not really even a problem. Everything is moving as it should. So, yes. All right. I love you guys. And I'm so happy that I have somewhere and someone to check out this journey that I'm documenting. All the highs, the lows, and the ugly and the gorgeous. That's a part of the journey in life. And so, yeah. I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.